But just getting a post-match interview with the three amigos after today's 3-1 win in the FA Trophy, a first for us. At the 6th time of asking. We'll start with you, Dave. Nice to get the monkey off the back on the FA Trophy front, but obviously it was a lot trickier game than last week in terms of similar opposition in the league, but we struggled for long periods to break them down.
Yeah, we did. We weren't happy at half time. I think we started okay. They'd come, I think their manager knows the manager of Malden. They looked to sit with sort of a 5, it looked like a 5 and a 4, left just the one guy up top and sat to sort of frustrate us, which obviously we're going to come against and we have to try and break down. I thought we broke that early with Pemmy, and having spoken to the line at half time, it was Bond that was offside, and Pemmy, because we saw Pemmy come through the gap to score, and then it's possibly a whole different game. But we don't get that goal, and then we go to sleep the first time they get into any sort of position, and it comes from the middle of the park. There's 3 players round, I think he was there 8 or something. He plays it out wide, it's too easy. He gets the ball in the box, 2 centre halves are not doing the job, so we're undone too easy. They have 2 or 3 real good chances to add a second, by the way, where they've rolled them wide and what have you, but they had the opportunities. And then second, and we then get a good equaliser at just before half time, because for the first time we've snapped into 2 challenges, moved it quick. I thought it was too slow, and because of that, you're not moving them enough, and it become easy. But in second half, I have to sort of commend the boys on their resilience, because we just kept going and going and going, and you're thinking it's going to. I actually said, I said James, I think it's either going to go penalties, they're going to nick it 2-1. It just felt that way.
It did have that feel about it.
Yeah, and yet we'd had so much of the second half. They were down to breaks and things, which they had. They had their 1 or 2 half chances that they don't take. 1 or 2 they get straight at Dan. He catches, his handling's good on them. But like I say, the resilience was great. We just kept battering and battering on the door, and eventually, it drops to Adam enough for him to get. He hooks a left foot on it, and thankfully it hits the roof in there.
Seemed to go, and I said to him as it's coming off, it seemed to go in slow motion. Yeah. Somebody just knock it in the net.
Yeah, and we had lots like that where it just wouldn't drop, or we just don't pick the pass, or we don't guide it on target, or we make the wrong choices. We have 3 or 4 that are shooting from 30 yards, which we'd be lucky to get one of them a season, let alone 3 in a game or 4 in a game. And then the good thing is we bring Drew on, and he takes all the pressure off with a very cool finish that all of his many years of playing at this level or higher than this level has done, and he just relieved that. And he only had a cameo of sort of 10 to 15 minutes, but I thought he worked hard one way, 1 or 2. There'll be people that know Drew, I can tell you now he's won headers and tackles in our half, and he goes and wraps it up. And again, I mentioned it last week, that's our 11th different goal scorer. So it's great what we keep doing, that we keep churning these good goals are coming from different areas. So the great thing is that, these teams are coming to us, and, we can score from any angle. So, but yeah, great finally, because we have been awful in it, if I'm honest with you. Our best performance in it was in the end quite a big defeat at, was it Howes Owen, where I thought we were great. In all the previous games, we just haven't been good enough. Today, thankfully, we turned up, and there's a lot of confidence with them, and we're still sitting there with 5, 6 boys to come back. We've lost the Stevens lad, we lost Dan, the Combs lad, we've lost 2 more centre halves, Charlie in midfield. So, and more importantly, George up top. So we've got some good players to come back and reinforce this soon, which is we could do. We could certainly have done today with the George Bailey down the left-hand side to get them, and we could have probably done at times a Weddy to get on the ball and move us a little bit quicker out the back. But we're getting over the line, so but great.
Excellent stuff. I think Dave's covered nearly all of that there.
And next week.
There's no questions left, is there? Sorry.
James, did we change anything tactically at half time to try and change things? And do you think it mainly boiled down to the the hot conditions today that made things a little bit tricky. I mean, I know they sat in and made it difficult for us, but I felt after being excellent for the first 12-13 minutes, we then maybe started trying to do things that maybe we didn't need to. When you look at the simplicity of the equaliser, where we just get the ball out wide and just lay it across the box to him, maybe did we try too hard as a result of going behind? Maybe.
Yeah, there's a 8 to 10 minute panic period where I think it was their first attack they scored from, and we had the goal that looked really like a good, decent goal that was finished by Pemi but was offside by Bondi. I think it shook them a little bit in terms of they're probably a bit frustrated that they didn't count when they knew he was onside. Lost their way a little bit. First attack, goal, as tends to happen, doesn't it, in the game? And so no, tactically we didn't change anything. We actually just said to the group they need to be more patient on the ball. I need to drive at players. So for example, the two centre halves, rather than trying to make longer passes or midfielders playing passes into wide areas or into striker, can we try and engage the player, i.e. step towards the player and make them come to you to play through them? And lo and behold, apart from the equalising goal, in effect, Cole's made a great tackle. He then played it into space in between, so Alex could put it across. Yeah. Equaliser, quite simple as Dave said. But then I think that pattern continued for most of the second half. So rather than just try to play longer passes and throw it in through the eye of a needle, can we get one extra pass and to then get the angle to pass it through or around them or over them? And ultimately that paid dividends, didn't it? Because we saw from Adam's goal and the build-up played that and the clip over to him as a carbon copy. And then Drew's was a special finish, which was really good for him as well, to get on that, take it on his right, onto his left and put it in the bottom right. So, yeah, not massive changes, just a bit more patience. And the game lasts 90 minutes, as we well know, so game's not won and lost. We got 1-0 at 45 minutes, got the goal at half-time, and then we just kept applying the pressure.
Skip, see, the substitutions that came on today, you got Miggsy, Fisher's come on, Drew's come on and scored. It's just shows the importance again of having decent options off the bench, doesn't it?
Yeah, we was looking at the bench and you think we've got all areas covered. So Miggs is more of a left back, but Bondi'd run himself into the ground, and you just suddenly think now, with how Miggsy plays, we can allow him to go up in the front three with a licence to get forward with his left foot, knowing that Simo had managed to curtail probably their main threat as the game went on. So yeah, I feel gutted for the two lads who didn't get on, because they're good enough to start as well, but 5 subs, used 3 of them. So yeah, I thought all round it was a good game. Just going for what the other lads said, it's a baking hot day, and it's just sort of the one thing you don't want to do against a side like this is concede first, and then because it throws all your plans out, and then you're chasing the game, and then you're allowing yourself on a counter. But I've got to have a special mention for Rio, because I thought I know Huntley got man of the match, and again, people look at games differently, can't argue with that to a degree, but Rio I thought was outstanding today. He started yesterday.
Well, you're basically saying it was a shocking decision, Huntley get a man of the match.
No, he's done it right. He's done fine. Huntley is Huntley. So
yeah, I thought Rio was outstanding.
Yeah, no, but I've looked at Rio, and he. When we were looking for an inspiration, when we were looking for something different, when in the middle of the first half, when it wasn't going our way and we were running out of ideas and we were running down blind alleys, he was getting the ball, he wanted the ball, and he was keeping it simple, and he was spreading. He just worked his socks off. And I don't know the stats, you're supposed to look at it all, but he just kept it simple, kept finding our men, kept probing, kept wanting it, kept dropping into space, just did everything in a game. And he's only, I don't even know how old Dave is he?
18, isn't it?
18, so he's 18 and he's playing his men's senior football, and it's just brilliant. It's just great to watch him. And then of course you just want to be in the game, and we'll get the goal just before half time, and then of course it's just don't do anything silly. You felt like we were going to score, but again, a game's 90 minutes, and they were well organised. But we've got to learn from it, because you go into the FA Cup game next week, and Cambridge City, I think in the previous round, beat Leighton Town 6-1. Well, Leighton Town aren't a 6-1 side, but I should think they've conceded early without looking at it. I think they've chased the game, and then they're getting done on the break. So we can't allow us to get ourselves into that position. If we're going to lose in the FA Cup or in the FA Trophy, you're losing to a side that's really good, better than us on the day, etc. Not because we're gifting goals, but look, baking hot day, lads were fantastic, subs were brilliant, just a good day all round for the club. And as you alluded to at the very beginning, it's our first win in this competition after all the success we had in the Vars. I mean, it's silly really, because we played sides in this competition that you think we could have won on the day, but we didn't. So today, yeah, it's good to get that, like you said, monkey off our back.
Congratulations, gents. Enjoy your evening.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Lee.